So one of the scariest weather-related situations I was ever in, I was climbing Mount Elbert in Colorado, and I had started out a little later in the morning than I intended, and it took me a little longer than I expected to climb the mountain, and it was a little bit after noon when I was finally cresting the last false peak, so I had just one very short section to go. And as I was walking along, I saw some dark clouds start to form. And then I took a step and I felt a shock in my feet. And I was wearing a backpack with my camera in it, and that backpack started to buzz. And pretty soon, every step I took, there was a shock in my feet. And of course, I was above the tree line, so there was nowhere to hide or anything like that, no trees to run into to get it away from flat ground. So I took the backpack off. I hid it in a set of rocks and ran down to a large set of boulders and just crouched down in the boulders until for about half an hour until a short thunderstorm passed through, and there was a bunch of lightning nearby and all of that kind of thing. And so I want to look at what happens when you get the that kind of buildup of charge that makes it to where every step you take, you feel a shock in your feet that makes your hair stand on end. And so we're not going to be able to do a perfect simulation of this, but what we are going to do is we are going to use a pickle, just like this one, to represent our atmosphere. And then to represent the buildup of charges in the atmosphere, we're going to take and put 2 electrodes, one into either end of the pickle. And that will represent charges being built up. And then we're going to plug it in. And when we plug it in, that is the charges being built up. And so you can maybe start to hear a little bit of happening. You're getting some heat, which is causing some bubbling over on this end. And after a while, a little heat causing some steam and some smoke. And after a while, the discharge starts to happen and it starts to light up, just like that. And that is essentially what lightning is. There's a buildup of charges as air moves, as water molecules are pushed upward by updrafts in the clouds, and they rub off their electrons, and so you build up electrons in the atmosphere, and then the water drops, and now you've built up a charge differential between the ground and the cloud, or between different clouds sometimes, and that charge differential leads to the discharge that makes the light and the lightning.